The Category 4 storm, Hurricane Beryl, has made landfall on the Caribbean island of Carriacou in Grenada. St. Vincent and the Grenadines are also at risk of being hit. Forecasters say this is extremely dangerous, with wind speeds of more than 215 kilometres an hour. Well, I'm joined now by meteorologist Dr. Ryan Truchelet to find out more about this storm. Welcome to you. Thanks very much for being with us. Tell us more about how hurricanes are formed.
So Hurricane Beryl developed from what's called an easterly wave. That's a pretty typical mode or mechanism by which storms form deeper into the hurricane season in August and September. And what we see is that kind of a wave of a wind shift will roll off the West African coast and move from east to west across the tropical Atlantic. As it does that, it moves over warm waters, slowly organizes, and can turn into a tropical storm or hurricane. Again, that's not unusual, but what's so unusual in the case of Beryl is that this is happening much earlier in the year than these easterly waves tend to form hurricanes. And this is, in fact, the earliest a Category 4 hurricane has ever formed anywhere in the Atlantic, Caribbean, or Gulf of Mexico.
And why is that?
Well, the waters that Hurricane Beryl moved over the past 3 or 4 days are as warm now at the end of June and early in July as they typically would be in late August or early September at the peak of hurricane season. So really, the hurricane doesn't know what time of year it is. All it knows is it's moving through a very favorable environment where the upper level winds are supportive of growth, and thermodynamically, it's getting a huge boost from these waters being so much warmer than they would be normally at this time of year.
And this is a Category 4, as I was saying. What determines a hurricane's strength?
So the way that we categorize hurricanes is what's called the Saffir-Simpson scale. We rate hurricanes on a scale of 1 to 5. And that's only taking into account the maximum sustained wind. So that's kind of one limited perspective on a hurricane. But another one is how big is it, how much rain is being produced by it, how much surge is occurring. So, we rate hurricanes by maximum sustained wind, but there's kind of other ways to look at it too. And by any measure, Beryl is a very impactful, devastating, and catastrophic storm.
And when you say, when you look at the factors that go into determining its strength, tell us a little bit more about that. How does it work? What determines that it is Category 4? Is it the strength of the winds, the temperature of the water?
Yes, it's the strength, the maximum strength of the wind is how we categorize. Now, the factors that go into making a tropical wave develop into a powerful hurricane, those include how warm and how deep the ocean waters are. Is there sufficient moisture at low levels of the atmosphere? Are the winds at upper levels of the atmosphere favorable for thunderstorm activity to spread out and be ventilated? Those are all key considerations. And in this case with Beryl, as it approached the Lesser Antilles, all of those factors were extremely favorable for intensification.
And you mentioned that this is the earliest you've seen such a strong hurricane, or meteorologists have seen. To what extent are you putting that down to global warming and climate change?
Well, I think there is some component of climate change at play here. I don't think you would have waters that are in 28, 29 Celsius on approach to the Lesser Antilles if they weren't getting a boost from climate change. So, in situations like this, you can't put too fine of a point on it. We don't know if Beryl would have happened with or without climate change, but I think it is fair to say that in these type of cases, you're at least seeing a Category or 2 boost from those ocean waters being so favorably warm.
Okay, Ryan Truchelet, really interesting to get your thoughts. Thanks very much for joining us from Florida.
Thank you.